morning everyone, welcome to the online classes of the chemistry Blossom Convent School. Myself, Damapi Singh Man of class plus 2 medical. Today we will be doing the topic that is the melting and boiling point of the transition elements. So without wasting time, let's get started. Before starting the melting and boiling point of the transition elements, we will be doing the small topic that is the metallic bond strength. So in the metallic bond strength, it is the metal-metal bond. As we know in the transition metal, they are the typical metal, means their metal-metal bond is very strong. In the metallic bond, it depends upon the unpaired electrons. If the more number of unpaired electron, then it will be easily causing the bonding, means the metallic bond strength will be more. We are moving along the period, energy gap increases, that means metallic bond will also decrease, so it means metallic bond will become weak. And now we will be talking about the melting and boiling point, which will be done with the use of the graph. So let's have a look at the graph. We will be looking at the first transition series, that is the 3D series. In the 3D series, as you can see that the chromium, up to chromium it will be increasing, then the dip is occurring in the manganese. As it is the dip because of the reason the manganese has the 5d5 4s2 configuration, which is the exactly half filled configuration, while chromium it will not be the exactly half filled configuration. While it is in the manganese, it is exactly half filled configuration, means in the manganese n minus d electron will not participate in the bonding, so it has the decrease in its the melting point. Metal bond will be weak, and iron will be having the 3d6 configuration, cobalt will be having the 3d7 configuration here, and nickel will be 3d8. They all have the little difference in the energy gap, but energy gap increases, their number of electrons also decreases, but they have the same melting point. Now it is the next element is the copper. Copper has no unpaired electron because its configuration is the 3d10. While next is the Zn. Zn is not present here because as you can see in the graph, it has the no unpaired electron, means it is not a transition series. So this was all about the first transition series. Starting with the next transition series, that is second transition series, means 4D series. It has the higher melting point than that of the first transition series, means when we will be moving in the group, the energy gap will decrease, means the electrons will be unpaired more, and the electron participation will also increase, so it has the higher melting point than that of the first transition series. This was the reason. Now as you can see, first element is the zirconium and second is molybdenum. You can see up to the tactarium it will be increasing, means up to TC it will be increasing. In the TC there is the little dip, it is due to the exactly half filled configuration of the TC. Now if we will be seeing the other trends, they will be same like that of the first transition series. You can see in the graph, so in the graph the other trends will be same. Now here is the tungsten, that is the W. The W has the highest melting point in the periodic table. As you can see, it is the all at the highest peak, so it has highest melting point. It is due to the reason because of its configuration. It has the D4s2 configuration, means it has the total 6 electrons which will participate in the bond formation, means its melting point will be more. This was all about the third transition series. So we have done the all the three transition series. This was all about the melting point dependence on the transition elements. Thank you for watching the video.